All right, let's dive into something really fascinating today, and honestly, something that's often misunderstood. We're calling it the architecture of solitude. We're going to really unpack the psychology behind why some people have, a very small circle or maybe even no close friends at all.
Wow. Just let that one sink in for a second. Having no friends doesn't always mean something is wrong with you. Sometimes it means you've learned to protect your peace. This quote just hits the nail on the head for what we're talking about today. It kind of flips the script, right? It suggests that what we might see as a social flaw from the outside could actually be a sign of strength, a form of self-preservation. It's a really powerful place to start.
So let's challenge a big one right off the bat. Society basically tells us that more friends equals more happiness, more success. But is that really always true? In this explainer, we're going to challenge that assumption and dig into the real reasons why someone might navigate the world with a very, very small social circle.
Okay, so our first section is called The Architects of Solitude. I love that framing. We're going to look at the blueprints, the foundational reasons that lead someone to build a life that looks like this.
And here's a really crucial point to get. Having few friends is not a sign of failure. It's so important to get that. It's not a failure, it's a construction. Think about it like that. A life that's been built, whether consciously or maybe even subconsciously, from all the raw materials of personality and life experience.
So, what are these building blocks? Well, here are some of the big ones. First up, deep-seated introversion. For some people, it's that simple. They just recharge their batteries by being alone. Then you've got learned independence, maybe from having to be self-reliant from a really young age. Or how about high personal standards? That feeling where having no company at all is way better than having fake or inauthentic company. And of course, a huge one. Past emotional pain or significant trust issues can make opening up to people feel, well, incredibly risky. Every single one of these is a totally valid foundation for building this kind of life.
All right, so we've looked at the why, the blueprints, but what does it actually feel like on the inside? That brings us to our next section. Is this structure of solitude a cozy, protective sanctuary, or does it feel more like a lonely cage?
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. There are two completely different ways to experience this. On one side, you have protective peace. This is when solitude is a choice. It's a way to maintain calm, to focus. It's like a fortress you build to keep out all the noise and the drama. But then, there's the other side, painful isolation. And this is that unwanted state, the one that leads to loneliness and real emotional distress. See? It can be the exact same structure from the outside, but the feeling on the inside is night and day.
And this is so important to remember. Just by looking at someone's life from the outside, seeing that they spend a lot of time alone, we have absolutely no way of knowing their internal emotional reality. You just can't judge the quality of the space by looking at the outside walls. It's impossible.
Okay, this brings us to our final section, and I think it's the most important takeaway of all. It's about shifting our focus from just counting friends to cultivating something way more valuable.
We're often taught that the goal, the prize at the end of the game, is a life packed with people, a crowded room of friends and connections. But this whole exploration challenges that very idea.
Because the truest measure of a well-lived life isn't the number of people in it, but the amount of peace you have within it. A peaceful mind, that is the ultimate sanctuary, no matter how many people you choose to let inside.
So, if we were to put a definition on this idea, here's what it would be. Protecting your peace is the conscious act of prioritizing your own mental and emotional well-being over social expectations. It's you deciding to put your own well-being first, ahead of what society might think your social life should look like. It's about being the master architect of your own inner world.
And that's the question we'll leave you with to think about. Because ultimately, it's not about having one friend or 100. It's about the conscious choices you make to build a life that feels right for you. So, what does protecting your peace truly look like?